Okay, so let's talk about onboarding. Usually, exactly at the end of the musical assessment, if someone's ready to join the team spiritually and musically, I immediately begin onboarding them. It doesn't make sense to schedule another meeting unless we both just ran out of time. So, onboarding, once someone passes that musical assessment, spiritual assessment, now we want to really press them and mold them into the type of team member that we want them to be. And this comes through deliberate and clear communication. That is the key to good onboarding, is deliberate and clear communication. And so the first thing I would encourage you to do, if you don't already have core values as a worship team, is to develop your own core values for your team. And what I mean by that is you want to be able to tell somebody, this is the type of team that we're trying to become, or this is the type of team member that we want you to be. And like I said, in the academy, we already have a done for you template that will walk you through this entire process. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, you can try the academy for free for 15 days. It's like totally free. You can just get in there, poke around and grab some of this stuff. But you can create a values document that has 5 to 7 words. Oh, actually, let me first tell you about the whole onboarding process, and then I'll tell you about the values document. So you're going to walk this person through the team values. You're going to talk through the expectations of what's required of them. You're going to do a little bit of online training by sending them some links for some things to watch. You're going to do in-person training, which is a lot less scary than it sounds, so don't freak out. And then you're going to keep an open dialogue with them for 30 to 90 days, anywhere between there. Just lots of feedback, lots of conversation. So that's what a good onboarding process looks like as an overview. And then I'm going to dig into each one of these separately. So the first thing that you're going to do is sit down with them right after that audition, and you're going to talk through the team values. So there are 5 to 7 words that you should identify. This is our team's values. At my church, we chose these words. We are worshipers. We are servants, we are committed, we are encouragers, we are family, we are creative, and we are progressing. That might be too many, but that's where we landed. Like, this is who we want our team to be. We want them to be servants, humble. And then you break down what each of those things means. We're committed. We show up when we're scheduled. We do the work at home to be prepared. We're encouragers. We speak well of each other. We call out the best in each other. We build up the next generation. We're encouragers, right? So you want to create these values for your team so that you can help this new team member understand how you want them to behave. And you want to use identity words like worshipers, servants, encouragers, because identity informs behavior. So who we are or who we believe we are affects how we behave. So create those 3 to 7 identity words, values, team values, and then give that to your team member and talk through that with them. The second thing you're going to do at that meeting is you're going to talk through the expectations of everything, how much time they should spend rehearsing, how frequently will cancellations be tolerated. I know that sounds like a weird way to phrase it, but like, you can't have someone on the team that's like canceling, or like someone who's like, I can only serve once every 9 weeks. You're like, well, I don't need that. That's more of a headache than anything. So what sort of spiritual life is expected of them? What behavior inside and outside of the church is expected of them? What does it look like to show up fully prepared for rehearsal? What does that mean? So you want to be very clear on what you expect of them. And again, we talked about this. They are a blank slate. So whatever you tell them, they will take as gospel truth. So use this time, capitalize on this time. Don't be shy. Don't be timid. Say, on our team, this is what we do. On our team, this is what we expect. When I send a planning center request, I expect that you accept it within 48 hours so that I know whether you're in or not. That kind of clarity is important in this expectations conversation. Also at that meeting, you want to talk about important information that they need to know to succeed. So here's where you park. Here's how we'll be scheduling you. Here's when the songs usually get sent out. This is the door that you get into the building from. This is what you should wear. This is appropriate. This is not appropriate. You can even create like a lookbook of like, here is dress that's appropriate. And then like, don't wear holy jeans, don't wear baseball caps, whatever your church's standards are. Here's what you should do if you have to cancel. Here's who you call in case of an emergency. Here's where you put your in-ear monitors. So like, what's just like the FAQ, the frequently asked questions, make a document that has all that information for them that you give to them at this meeting. So after this meeting, you just send them home with all those documents for them to review and kind of look over when they get home, because it's a lot of information, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to email them some links. And this is where we get into the online training. So you want to create some like shared Google Docs where you have links for drummers. Here are 3 videos we want you to watch. This is the style that we like. or watch the difference of like bad stage presence versus good stage presence for the singers, or basically create an online course for each position of like a few videos that you would want them to watch, or articles or podcasts. Like, here's how to embrace simplicity in your playing. Find some really resourceful articles and podcasts and videos, and make a little Google Doc for each musician type and send that to that person. Now, again, you're like, Alex, this is so much work. Yes, it is. That's what leadership is. But if you just copy those links one time, it's kind of like setting up your planning center song. If you set up your planning center song and you do it the right way, and you put the chord chart in the right way, and you put all the resources in, it's there forever to always be utilized effectively. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put a lot of work in up front on these Google Docs, and now you have them forever for every new team member. Okay, agree? Yes, awesome. Okay, so then you're going to send them that, say, hey, watch these videos, and then I'm going to schedule you to come back for our in-person training. Now, in-person training sounds scary, but it's really, I just want you to come in for 3 weeks to observe our rehearsals. So it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks, it could be however long you think. So you want them to come attend rehearsals and observe and acclimate. Okay, and this gives them time to absorb the team culture, to learn what's normative. It also gives you time to observe them, to make sure that your initial impressions of them were accurate. Because sometimes we're off and people's character gets exposed with time. And you're like, oh, wow, he just dropped an F-bomb. Or, oh, that person's like making inappropriate jokes, or being creepy, or staring at the girls, or whatever. Having them attend rehearsals and not actually get involved yet, it might seem like, but Alex, we need the drummer now. No, you don't. Not if he's a creep, right? So just give it some time. It's better to have this 3-week buffer period where you can observe them, and then they can also get acclimated to you as well. Also, ask some of your other key players or key leaders on your team to put eyes on that person as well, to give you feedback if they see things that you're not seeing. Because they might behave one way in front of you, but maybe around the other younger people, they're a little bit more cuckoo, or talking about how they got drunk last weekend or whatever. So have them come and attend your rehearsals. And during this shadowing period, what you want them to do is you want them to shadow the position of whatever they're going to play in the future. So if it's a bass player, hey, we're going to give you in-ear monitors. We want you to stand, if you have in-ear monitors at your church, I'm assuming. If you don't, that's fine. Hey, take your bass, stand on stage next to the bass player, watch what he's doing, listen to how he's approaching the songs, use your current musicians as the standard for that person. And then let them watch, let them ask questions to that bass player in between songs. And then you ask them questions during that time as well. So for 3 weeks, they're around the team and they're watching their player, and they're maybe even practicing along, but they're not plugged in. Okay, so that's what in-person training looks like. Now, the last step is to let them actually serve and to provide loads and loads of feedback. This is the final phase of onboarding, is to schedule them, try to put them with the best band you can, so that they're feeling supported musically, they're not feeling vulnerable. And then after they serve, give them feedback and tell them beforehand, hey, okay, last step of onboarding is I'm going to schedule you to serve. If you need to meet in advance, if you have questions in advance, like be over the top, like make yourself available to them, and then let them serve and say, hey, I'm going to give you a lot of feedback after this first one, okay? And then try, as you're leading worship, try to pay attention to how they're doing. Or if it's at a rehearsal, Thursday night rehearsal or whatever, listen extra to them. And then afterwards, give them some private feedback. Don't do it in front of everybody, because they're already nervous. And then just tell them, okay, for the next 60 to 90 days, I'm going to give you lots of feedback every time you serve. And eventually you've given them enough feedback. Obviously be encouraging, not just critical. So be encouraging with your feedback. So encouraging stuff, and work on this, just like the same thing you did in the coaching conversation. And then, yeah, you give them feedback, and eventually they're going to start doing everything the way that you want, and you're not going to have to give as much feedback. And pretty soon you won't have to give any feedback. And now you've got an ideal team member, someone who is spiritually and musically perfectly in line with what you're trying to build at your church. So that is how you onboard a team member the easy way. I think easy. Any questions about onboarding? I know that was fast.
No, it was good. Do you have a kind of established for like how you keep track of where individuals are at within the process and like how those things are going?
That's a good question. No, because I've never pumped through that many people. You know what I mean? In my context, even at that really large church, it was always like 1 or 2 people at a time. So, and I'm really, it's not scientific. I'm like feeling it out. Like, oh man, this guy needs, like right now I'm onboarding a percussionist at my church, and I'm meeting with him every Wednesday after youth group, and we're practicing 2 songs together, and I'm just telling him what to work on. And it's taking way longer than I thought. I thought he would already be on stage serving. And I'm like, whoa, he has these little weird hiccups with his percussion. He's getting closer, but it's already been 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And I was thinking it would take 2 weeks. So it's just playing it by ear with each person. So
then do you also do all of it like on all the instruments? Like I can't do all the different instruments. So like what would be a way to also like bring people on and coach and not something new?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So obviously, if you're able, recruit your current musicians to help you. So like your best bass player, like, hey, will you take so-and-so under your wing and every 2 weeks work with him for an hour? Or I always tell people double stack your time. So, hey, will you come before rehearsal or after rehearsal and work with so-and-so for a season? So you can recruit other people to help you in that as well. It doesn't have to just be you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then my other question is just about setting the values. Do you just set that, or did you bring your team in to like help establish?
That's a great question. So like I mentioned, the team building course that you guys can all have access to for free. I'll show you how to get it. This team building course talks about how to develop your values. And one of the key elements of that is you should start the ball rolling on the values and then bring some people, or if it's not just you, keep it really tight, like 2 or 3 people to develop the values. And then once you've got those 2 people in, bring in like a slightly wider circle of like 5 people to be like, hey, this is what we're thinking. Does this sound good? And then once they've said yes, then roll it out to everybody. But I wouldn't bring too big of a group around. There has to be a point person or at least a kernel or a seed to start with, and then let people speak into that instead of just like, now, if you're on staff and there's like really close worship leaders with you, then you could start together, but I would say keep it pretty small. But you're right. You do want to have other key leaders involved in the process, at least early on in the process, to help create buy-in and to make sure everybody's on board. Any other questions about onboarding?
Do you have any successful resources or suggestions for vocalists, especially those who aren't super comfortable with harmony?
Actually, on Friday the 26th in the academy, we're doing a training for how to learn to hear harmony and sing harmony, and how to teach people who don't hear harmony how to begin learning it. So that's happening this month in the academy. In fact, if you guys don't mind, I want to share with you what is the academy, because I keep talking about it, but I want to show you guys. So in everything I'm doing, I really just want to try to serve and resource worship leaders. What I try to do is I try to make as much free content available as possible and say, here, if you want more, there's more. And so the academy has basically 4 facets. There's the community portion where people are asking questions, like basically everybody's just posting constantly and they're helping each other out. So the community portion, then there's courses. So we have courses on every topic that you need as a worship leader. So we have the theological foundations, we have the administration and organizational side of ministry, musical excellence course to help your team become better musically together. Team building course. What I taught you today are like 2 lessons out of 14. There's 14 lessons in the team building course. The set building course to help you build like beautiful arcing sets that like thematically and musically flow towards this climactic view of Jesus, helping your church engage in singing and participating more in worship, running effective and efficient rehearsals, vocal technique, group communication. So those are the courses that we do. And then we have live events. Like I said, learning harmony to teach your vocalists. So that's happening this next Friday, April 26th, and I'm bringing in an expert to help me teach that. We do 2 events every month, like that are topical, and then we do a Monday huddle, like Zoom call, where everyone shares highs and lows or throws out a problem that they're facing and lets other people. And then I share like a 5-minute encouragement, and then I pray for everyone, and we jump off into the week. So that's the live stuff. We also have group discussions like once a month around a specific topic. So for example, this month we're talking about discipleship. And so they watch 3 videos that I've created, and then we talk about discipleship on the 4th Wednesday of every month. Then the docs is kind of what I was telling you about earlier, where we have an audition template. It's completely done for you. Everything, including those like Dropbox files, they're created for you. You just take the system and plop it into place at your church. We have the onboarding template that's going to help you craft your values and create those onboarding documents. It's basically walks you through step by step and has prompts for you just to fill out, so it saves you tons of time. We have the musician training documents for those onboarding things we talked about. So like we have acoustic guitar training videos, we have electric bass, drums, piano, vocalists, music director training, and you just send these to each of your musicians, and we're constantly updating them and adding to them. We have vocal warm-ups. We have a task template that you can use software to like keep yourself on track. And then annual team member survey questions, budget template, 15 done for you team building activities. So yeah, so there's a lot here in the academy for you to just like fast forward your way through a lot of having to do the grunt work. We've kind of created optimized versions of everything for you that you just take and you can utilize that. So that's the academy. Like I said, it's 15 days for free. I don't charge you, like it says $1 to try, but we don't actually charge anything. And then it's only like $35 a month. The price is going to be going up next month to $45, or if you pay annually, it's $19 a month. So like if you could get your pastor to give you $200, that's basically the cost of the academy for the whole year. So if you guys are interested, I can post a link for you to try it. But that is that. Hey friend, this was a live training that I did for the Evangelical Free Church worship leaders. If you are a part of a network of churches, I would love to train your worship leaders for you, just as a free way to say, God bless you. They did donate in the end, but I'm happy to serve the global church for free. If you have a group of churches that you would like me to speak to, I would love to do that. If you are interested in really taking your ministry to the next level, I would invite you to join the Worship Ministry Training Academy, which you can try for free for 15 days. We have 11 now in-depth courses on every topic that's important to you. We have live monthly trainings. We have live workshops like the one you just watched. We have expert interviews every month with some of your favorite worship leaders. We have live stream reviews where I give you feedback on your live stream. We have a supportive community, forums where you can post your own questions and get help from thousands of other worship leaders from all over the globe. We would love to have you inside the academy. You can try it for free for 15 days by going to worshipministrytraining.com. God bless.